awesome to me. I love that.
On our first boat movement, I was the coxswain, so I was basically the guy that was giving commands for specific sides to row and controlling the speeds and the direction of the boat. The thing is that when humans see things in front of them, they make a decision on their own and they panic. So I'm going to stand idly by this statement and say that this wasn't my fault, but I don't know, it probably was. And we ended up hitting a tree so hard it smacked me in my chest and I fell out the boat. And then the guy that pulled me back in that almost jumped in the water was like a legitimate weak swimmer, like did not know how to swim. He pulled back in, got back in, and then we continued mission. So that was wild. I cannot believe that happened.
The northern part of the AO, where students are currently operating, they're surrounded by what we call severely restricted terrain. For them to move the amount of time that they're using this waterborne operation or this waterborne infiltration, it'd probably be a factor of 4 or 5 more times spent walking than using this mode of transportation. As far as mental toughness goes, this is just another mission task that Ranger students have to accomplish during their very limited window of time here. Instead of just sticking to dismounted patrolling, in this phase, they do airborne operations, they conduct air assaults and waterborne operations within the 14 days we have them.
It was muddy, you got soaked, and it was just awful terrain. People were tripping and falling over like the vines, under the water. And you kind of look at them and laugh a little bit, then you would do the same thing. And you were completely soaking wet and you were muddy head to toe. It just sucked.
I fell every 10 seconds. And it was so frustrating to just fall and then just get back up again, just to fall again, just to trip again and just keep going. And it was funny at first, and then it slowly just became less and less funny as we kept going through the water.
You eventually get to a point where you go in and then all of a sudden you hit a hole and you're up to your neck and your rucksack's pushing you over, right? Felt really bad for the guys carrying machine guns because those guys just got torn down a lot, but
it's like times like those you start reflecting. It makes you think like what's your purpose?
At 02, anywhere between 02 to 03, it takes some getting used to, but like once you're actually on the go and moving, conducting missions all day long, you don't really think about it.
I would say the worst part is the mileage you do with wet boots and in no means to air out your feet.
If you take care of your body from the very beginning, right? If you start taking care of your body during rap week, that's like working hands, putting on lotion, changing out your socks, like actually showering and like taking care of yourself, it will set yourself up for success through like Florida. We had guys in mountains whose feet started falling apart because in Darby they weren't doing the right thing. And it's like taking that like 30 seconds or a minute, as cold as it is or as wet it is, to actually like take your boots off, change your socks, put on lotion, and take care of your body. It'll pay out dividends in the end.
It's nice to have a rain block, occasionally. Take what we can get sometimes. The construction of the one-row bridge and the students' mastery of it is going to be critical for them, which is why we have a graded rehearsal daily by the RI. If there's any issues for students conducting it, it's a failure to do rehearsals. Every day, the person in charge of this is our security squad leader. If that security squad leader owns his leadership role and demands that his one-row bridge team conducts rehearsals daily, there is no difficulty to completing this. It's a very simple task. There should be no issues.
Florida was the toughest for me. Going through a bunch of swamps the whole time, but then actually going through a lot of dry land and a lot of sand and just trudging along that way through like low brush and different things along those lines. And then in my last few days going through those 2 swamps and actually seeing what a real swamp is as a Canadian, because I had never experienced anything like that before.
I love the Zodiacs. It was just fun. It was a different environment. You got to get people on the boats rowing together. You got pinpointed, you had to figure out where you were on a map while you're rowing, so that presented its own challenges, but it was very out of the ordinary, and that was awesome.
That's why you're really there. It's just that battle with yourself. You can't quit. We did the first SWAT movement. I had a 249, so we weren't allowed to wear slings, so I just had to carry it one-handed, basically, just using one hand to hold on to trees, navigate. My hand carried 249, and that was a pretty bad movement, just because the whole time I just wanted to, someone offered to take 249 off me, so I was like, it was tempting, hey, I don't need to do this. Dude already offered, he said he'd take it. But at the same time, I can't just quit like that. So I just sucked it up, ended up carrying it the entire rest of the movement, all the way to patrol base.
There were many moments that I would be walking through swamps and I knew I was giving it my 100%, and that wasn't gonna be enough, that I was gonna have to dig deeper and give more than I thought that I had in me.
When you're doing it, you're just trudging through, and you just have your rifle trying to keep it above water as well as your neck, especially because I'm a short guy. So I dip down and find a deep hole, and my head and everything is trying to stay above water. Instead of just staring down at my feet, trying to figure out how not to sink into this next hole in the swamp, and look up, be like, wow, this is super different. I'm following like one of my squad mates, and I'm in a really weird, different situation that I know I'm gonna look back on and really appreciate.
We did have to stop at one point because the RI in front of us had seen about 4 snakes and was trying to kill them all before we walked through. And I'm not a huge fan of snakes. I can do spiders, I can deal with insects. I do not like snakes at all. So anytime we saw one, I was not thrilled. I definitely wanted to avoid it as much as possible.
Instead of just having 50 people attempt to swim across a river with heavy equipment, which would be wildly unsafe, we had them employ this method that they rehearse every single day. The one-rope bridge allows them to pull both men, weapons, and equipment across in a safe and timely manner.
Florida Phase has the most high-risk training of all the phases. We are teaching them how to succeed and be resilient leaders in a different environment. You've got to be the leader that stands up and succeeds in the darkest and hardest of times. That's what we're looking for in the Ranger leaders.
Let's go, Ranger. Stop leaning on the rope. Keep it up, Ranger. Let's go. Long strides. Pull.
This place exposes a person's true character, how they really are as a person, whether it be a teammate or in a leadership role. And so that's what I think of as Florida Phase, is a very good testing ground for your own character.
Lean back on your rock.
You built a good shelter, you were really enjoying your life for the next 4 or 5 hours that you were in the patrol base because you had shade, the ground was cool. In the weapon squad hole, we built little seats in. We made it large enough that everybody could sit down and kind of hang out. But actually getting there, I would definitely say it was worth taking the extra time to build a solid fighting position because you're going to be spending so much time there.
For patrol base, the big thing you want to do first is make sure that you have your apexes pushed out first and you get your gun set in so that you know where your final protective lines are going to be so that you can build your legs off of that and get a solid security plan put in place and know where to put your individual fighting positions. That way you can interlock sectors of fire all the way around the patrol base. What we're looking for is individual fighting positions, and for the apexes where we're going to use the 240s for the gun positions to actually dig a proper T-gun position. We expect more from them here in Florida for patrol base, especially when it comes to like leader involvement. It's not the Derby phase, it's not mountain phase like here. We want to see what your actual leadership style is and see you be a leader. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is treating it real. If you treat it real and not worry about how to check a box to get a go and what does the RI want to see for me to get a go, you're going to miss stuff if you do that. You're going to be too focused on a checklist instead of actually what would I do in this situation and what do I expect my soldiers to do in my platoon if I was in this situation. If you do that, you won't miss little things. You'll just do those naturally.
It's like building off of mountains with more flexibility and more freedom. It's definitely doable, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. Make sure you can serve yourself, but also make sure you look to the left and right. You're not going to get your tab by yourself. Big thing, be a member of your squad, and you should get a go. Hopefully I'll get a go today.
A lot of people come in here with their own SOPs and their own like critical thinking, and they go into Darby, now they have a checklist mentality. You get to Florida, that's absolutely not what they want to see.
You know, you're tired, you're cold, you're wet, hungry, constantly uncomfortable. And the best thing I can kind of relate it to is like just it makes you appreciate the good things that you have in life.
It takes a little bit getting used to eating your first meal at 11 o'clock and then your second meal